Where do I begin? Where do I begin? Not with NBA. I ran hot in NBA today. I ran pretty hot, except for Markel Fultz. But where do I begin? Where do I begin? The Dolphins. I know this is an NBA video, but I had to get this out of my chest. The Dolphins deserve to be fired for what they did tonight. Cedric Wilson, questionable to return. Tyreek Hill, questionable to return from the locker room. Literally 30 seconds later, Tyreek Hill has returned to the game. Cedric Wilson is done. You want to make that 19 injuries for me in 9 days? You guys want to know what else? Jeff Wilson Jr. just done. Not coming out from the locker room. Just done. The Dolphins, you deserve to be fired. But if you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I play NFL. I play NBA. I make content for it. I post posts on this subreddit called DF Sports. As you can see here, I post posts for NFL, NBA. People ask me questions. You can ask me questions. Comment on the post. Talk strategy with people. I will reply to everyone. I try to, at least. Before lock, I will 100% be able to reply to you. But after lock, it might get tricky sometimes. But as you can see here, people ask me questions. I answer all of them. So yeah, feel free to come over here, ask questions, talk with the community. It's a great place. And then if you ever need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Reddit at Messenger, or you can get a hold of me on Twitter at Tory Langley @ToryLangley1992. When we get to 1,000 followers, I'm gonna do a frickin' huge giveaway for the community. Just a massive giveaway. I don't know what it'll be yet, but we're gonna do a massive giveaway. Whether that's like, $500 cash, $500 Amazon. Like it'll be huge. It'll be like $500 plus and stuff that I'll do for you guys. So yeah, let's go over my NBA lineup from tonight. So I ended up holding on to the cash. I thought I was in trouble there at the end when the Atlanta game went into overtime. I obviously didn't have any pieces of that Atlanta game outside of Bog. So that was very, very scary. I ended up holding on to the last position here. Chipotle and TSF Boy chopped for 30, so they didn't win their buy-in back. So, but my lineup tonight was Emmanuel Quickly, Davion Mitchell, RJ Barrett, Harrison Barnes, Domantas Sabonis, Markel Fultz, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Joel Mother MVP, Embiid. But Markel Fultz just barely plays. He basically gets benched. I was debating Markel Fultz or Gary Trent Jr. You guys want to know where I would have finished if I went Gary Trent Jr.? I would have finished here. Or no, I would have finished 5th place above this guy. So I would have won $200, something like that. So painful. I just didn't want to eat the Gary Trent Jr. chalk, so I went to Markel Fultz at much, much lower ownership. I think it was the correct play, but definitely painful. But good to have a winning NBA day. NFL was really bad. I go to 11-3 for NFL profitable days on the season. The core that I had for tonight was Emmanuel Quickly, Davion Mitchell, RJ Barrett, Bogdan Bogdanovic. Absolutely smashed the core today. RJ, absolute smash. Bogdan Bogdanovic, absolute smash. Emmanuel Quickly, only 11% owned. Went for 5x. Davion was kind of the bust there, but he was so popular it didn't really matter. So the core absolutely smashed, kind of like usual. Let's go over this NBA slate, guys. Let's fucking do it. We got a pretty good one here. We're going to go through this pretty quick. We'll go through NBA team pace rankings for you guys. I think this is pretty important as well. And if you guys want tools, tools on how to get better, I will show you some tools. Always feel free to ask me questions as well. But here we go. We got Brooklyn at Washington. Washington is 20th in pace, and they're middle of the road, I believe. There's Washington. Hello, yeah, 21st in defensive rating. So, Katie, Kyrie, I think are both appropriately priced. I think it's much easier to get to Katie at this, or Kyrie at this price tag. So, I do prefer Kyrie Irving to Kevin Durant, but both are playable in a good matchup. Ben Simmons is really going to depend on me if Nicholas Claxton is out. If Claxton is in, then they're both kind of like split the center minutes. Ben's obviously going to play some point as well. So, kind of becomes a little bit riskier. His minutes aren't as secure. He was on a limit last game too, so we're going to have to keep an eye on if he's going to be limited or not. So if Claxton's in, they're both just playable for me. No really standouts there. Joe Harris, if Claxton's in, Royce O'Neal is out, so we'll probably see big minutes from Joe Harris with Royce O'Neal out. So I think Royce O'Neal is definitely a fine to decent value. And then Seth Curry at 3.7K, I think is a playable value as well. Those would be the only guys that I really consider. I guess Yuta Watanabe is playable. I actually don't hate Yuta with Royce O'Neal out. I think that definitely helps Yuta, because if Claxton is out, this is if Claxton's out, because Yuta can play a bunch of different positions. He could play backup 5 too if they go small. So if Claxton's out, I definitely have interest in Yuta Watanabe. So that's only if Claxton's out. Personally, for me, I think he's still playable regardless, though. Now we'll go over if Claxton's out. God damn it. If Claxton's out, then I think Ben Simmons is my favorite play on the Nets. He's going to play, a lot at the 5. His 4+ ceiling goes up. He's still going to do some ball handling. Just tremendous 4. Tremendous ceiling when he's playing at the 5. So I do like Ben Simmons a lot if Claxton is out. And then you're going to get boost for Joe Harris. You're going to get boost for Yuta Watanabe. You're probably going to get Seth Curry for some more minutes. I would like Joe Harris a decent amount. He's not going to be like a great value, but he'd be a solid value. And then, like I said, yeah, I would have interest in Yuta Watanabe if Claxton is out, and then I think Seth Curry is definitely playable at that price tag. Brooklyn, Claxton himself, like I said, not much interest there. Just playable. 22nd in pace, and I gotta stop beatboxing. 18th in defensive rating. So, Beal, I don't expect to play. He is already out. Monte Morris is questionable. We'll go over it both ways here. So, Porzingis, Kuzma, their prices don't really stand out to me, but it is a good matchup against Brooklyn. The good thing you're going to get with Porzingis and Kuzma here is they're running such a tight rotation. They're going to play huge minutes. These two are running the offense. They have such a high usage rate. So I think they're both firmly in play here. I think Kuzma is definitely going to get some ownership after 2 really, really good games. He's already been like 10% plus owned. I think that's going to go up tomorrow. So I think both the Washington Stars look pretty good to me. And I think Denny looks pretty good as well. He's just playing huge minutes of late. He's a guy that can stuff the stat sheet. Very good rebounder. If we're going to keep getting 40 minutes of Denny, I think he's a very good value play. Goodwin, not so much if Monte's in. And then Kispert, not going to go there. Will Barton is back as well, so that might muddy the waters. So let's go over if Monte is out. So if Monte is out, that just solidifies more minutes for Denny. Would still really like him. And then we're going to get point Jordan Goodwin. He did go for 6 steals last game. You can't really expect that to happen again. But I think he'd be a solid value if Monte Morris is out. The only thing you have to be careful for is Will Barton is back. So last time we saw Monte Morris out, Will Barton was the one who played 31 minutes. Jordan Goodwin still started, but he only played 24 minutes. So just be a little bit careful there. So if everyone's going to go to Jordan Goodwin in GPPs if Monte Morris is out, I think Will Barton definitely is an interesting pivot off that. But I would like both quite a bit if Monte Morris is out. So let's go over Miami. We got a good matchup here going up against the Indiana Pacers. They are 4th in pace, and they are 22nd in defensive rating. So not much here. Stop with the questionable tags. Just stop. It's so annoying having to do this. Like, they're all probable. They're all going to play. Stop it with the questionable tags. I mean, yeah, it's a really good matchup. I don't think much stands out to me here. I think my favorite play is probably going to be Tyler Hero at 8K. He's just had such an insane role usage-wise. He's playing the most minutes on the team. Um, Handling the ball a decent amount as well. Yeah, I think he's fine. He's probably my favorite play, and then Butler probably number two. It's a phenomenal spot for Bam as well. I think he's perfectly fine, but no standouts really for Miami. It's just the top three guys here I think are fine to solid plays. Tough matchup here for the Pacers. The Miami Heat, they play slow, they play good defense, 26th in pace, and they are 13th in defensive rating. So Halliburton has been on one of late. He's pretty much a lock for a double-double. Going to play huge minutes. I have no issue if you want to keep playing Halliburton. Price hasn't moved. Yeah, like him for GPPs. Miles Turner's been in foul trouble. Price has gone down. I don't think people are going to want to go there. It's a tough matchup. Just a GPP play only for me. Healed, Mathurin both have ceilings if they're hitting their shots. Just fine plays. I don't think I'm going to go there. Jalen Smith's minutes have been way down, so really hard to trust that. So not much on the Pacers outside of Tyrese Halliburton. Atlanta at Memphis. So Memphis is, let me 10th in pace and 6th in defensive rating. So no Murray. I think Trae Young looks really good once again. I think he makes for one of the better spend-ups on the slate. Same with him. Basically a lock for a double-double. Gonna play huge minutes. Like me some Trae. Capella with the Congo in, he isn't going to play huge minutes, but he's always in play. You know he has that 2020 upside. So Capella, fine GPP play. Assuming Bach plays, this is a back-to-back. We'll have to see if he plays. Assuming he plays, he's probably the best value on the slate, so absolutely love him. Hunter, going to play around 30 minutes, just a fine value. I don't really think I'm going to be going to anyone else. Congo had a big game off the bench, but I don't think we need to go there on the slate, but he definitely is playable. Oh, Trent Forrest started. If he starts again, I think you definitely could use him for salary relief, so keep an eye on that. Memphis at Atlanta. Where is Atlanta? I know they play faster, but how fast? There's no shot they're slower this year. 9th in pace and 10th in defensive rating. So John Morant is questionable. Steven Adams is questionable. I fully expect both to play, but we'll go over it both ways for the boys one time. Yeah, I mean, John Morant at 10-6, I'm fine with it. I think there are better spend-ups on this slate, but I think this is a good spot. So I think he's fine. Spend up. Jaren, still only playing around 30 minutes, but he does have a ceiling. We know he's a very good point per minute guy. Not going to get to Brooks at that price. Not going to get to Adams. And then the bench is just, I can't do it. If Ja and Adams are out, Jaren going to get a boost. I think he would look fine. Dylan Brooks would look really good at 6.6K, but he'll be extremely popular. Makes for a good fade. Tyus Jones is going to become a lock at 5.1K. If Steven Adams is out, Brandon Clark becomes the best value play on the slate. So we're going to have to monitor this. And then if both are out, you're going to get some David Roddy, who will probably play, over 20 minutes. He will be a fine value. Zaire Williams is back, but I don't think he'll play enough minutes for us to really go there. I think they're kind of limiting him. I think they are, yeah. So let's go over Oklahoma City now. Tough spot here for Oklahoma City. Dallas are just 29th in pace. Play good defense. This is just not a game that we want to target. 20th in pace. SGA has been bad of late. He's been really bad. I know last time versus Denver he torched them. Yeah, he did torch them. Got into foul trouble last game, but still went for 23, 3, and 2. I think normally, especially, since he did kill them last game, I think he's fine. I don't think anyone's going to play him. And we know he has a ceiling, so I'm fine with some SGA for GPPs. Won't rank as a top spend up for me, but I definitely do have some interest. Trying to figure out the rest is just tough. It's just tough. They're all GPP plays. Their minutes are all over the place. They all get benched. Poku had a big game at 4.4K, but he gets benched at halftime half the time. So if you want to take the shot, if I knew Poku was going to play 34 minutes again, he would be in my lineup tomorrow. So do what you want with that info. Same with like Jerry, minutes all over the place. So they're just GPP only plays, very very risky. Good matchup here for Dallas, definitely some blowout risk, but good spot. Oklahoma City Thunder is 5th in pace, 17th in defensive rating. Luka still at the price point where I don't think you like need to spend up for him. I've been not spending up above players above 11K really outside of Embiid today. They just need to go for so many fantasy points for it to be needed. Like Luke at this price point needs to go for like 85 fantasy points. Now, if you feel comfortable with the value, like the matchup's phenomenal. So if you feel comfortable, actually, he'll probably get Lou Dort. So the individual matchup isn't great, but it is a pace up spot. If you feel comfortable with the value, by all means, go for it. But it's really hard for me to pay that price. Dinwiddie, Wood, secondary plays. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a bad game finally when he wasn't chalk. Playable just for GPPs, though. You do have Maxi Kleber questionable. If Kleber's questionable, you're probably going to get some more run for guys like Reggie Bullock, Dorian Finney-Smith, but I don't really think we can do that on the slate. Just absolutely disgusting. All right, Cleveland at the San Antonio Spurs. Excuse me, guys. Taking a sip of some OJs. So, best possible matchup in the league, basically. One of the best. Spurs 7th in pace. Last in defensive rating. So, Mitchell is currently questionable. I don't know if he's going to play, but we'll go over both ways. If he is in, I do like Mitchell for GPPs. I think Garland's fine. Both the bigs, I think, are appropriately priced, and I wouldn't go to anyone on the bench with him back. God damn it. If Mitchell is out, nobody is going to play Darius Garland at 8.3K with Mitchell out because he's failed as chalk for two out of the past 4 slates, 2 out of the past 3 slates. I am absolutely in love with Darius Garland tomorrow if he is going to be low owned if Mitchell is out. I don't care. You cannot have recency bias in DFS. You cannot look at these games and say that's what he's going to be for the next games. You have to take opportunities like this where players chalk as bust as chalk and go back to them when they're low owned in smash spots. So I am absolutely in love with Darius Garland for GPPs tomorrow if Donovan Mitchell is out. Mobley, Allen still in play. Karis LeVert at 5K is still too cheap, assuming Mitchell is out and he continues to start. So would really like Karis LeVert. So, and then you can consider guys like Cedi Osman, who will probably play 25 to 30 minutes off the bench, only if Kevin Love is out. I don't really think I can go to like a Lamar Stevens. I just can't do it. Let's go over the Spurs now. So it's obviously a really, really tough spot here. Nobody's going to get ownership on this game. Cavs, they're first in defensive rating. They're last in pace. This is just a spot that, once again, we do not want to target. So I don't like anything on the Spurs tomorrow. I think Zach Collins might be my favorite play point per dollar. He finally stayed out of foul trouble and absolutely smashed. This is what he can do when he stays out of foul trouble. So I do have some interest in Zach Collins. If Sochan is out, Langford, Richardson probably get more run, but I don't think it's necessary on the slate. So not much on the Spurs side there for me. This game looks like it's a good game to target for DFS. It looks really good, more so on the Minnesota side, but. Let's go over it. Where's Portland? 28th in pace, 23rd in defensive rating. So Cat out, Ant, D'Lo, Rudy Gobert all look really good. All 3 going to play huge minutes. All 3 going to dominate the usage. Really like all 3. Point per dollar, I might prefer Rudy Gobert, but I think all 3 make for very, very good plays. Kyle Anderson's been starting, playing huge minutes. If we're going to continue to get this type of production and minutes from Kyle Anderson, be my guest, play him. But if he's going to get ownership, I will gladly pass. He's not going to continue to average this many peripheral stats. He's just not that type of guy. He's a good rebounder, but he's not going to keep getting like 7 assists. So just be careful there. Noel's been losing minutes of late. If you want to, you can take a shot on him only if Jordan McLaughlin is out. But once again, I think better value will open up. On the Portland side of things, the Timberwolves, 2nd in pace, 15th in defensive rating. So Dame, probably my favorite play. Going to play huge minutes. I don't think the price really stands out to me. Outside of that, I'm crossing Portland off. It's just Dame for me. Boston at the Clippers. Not much in this game, boys. Clippers 21st in pace, 5th in defensive rating. There's just not much. We all know Tatum's going to break the slate after absolutely burning everyone as chalk, but the price just, I don't think. Why did his price go up after this game? So I don't really understand it. Just a GPP play. Jaylen Brown at this price tag in a tough matchup in play, but just a GPP play. Al Horford is out, so you're going to get the dust of Blake Griffin, probably playing, 20, 25 minutes in play for value, but don't love much else there. Clippers, there's not much. Tough spot. I think Paul George played 40 minutes last game. He did. Good that he is shooting forward eligibility. I actually don't hate Paul George. I think he's a fine play, but outside of that, it's just, man, it's really tough to get to anyone else. If you want to take a shot on like pretty much a min-price Kawhi Leonard, be my guest. I don't think that's the worst idea, but I think everyone else is appropriately priced. I think Batum is a fine value. He's been playing about 30 minutes. I don't hate that. So I hope this helped you out, guys, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow.